For today's episode of the Down to Business podcast, we sat down with Cam of Only Ohana. And really from the beginning of the episode, he really got into how actually the pandemic propelled him into business, got him started with the brand and really allowed the foundation to build itself. But speaking of foundation, this was something that was really being laid and it dates all the way back until middle school. And Cam gets into a lot of those details and how back then they didn't even realize that it was going to become what it is today. And so he also extends himself as a resource. He recognizes that there are a plethora of people in the industry or looking to get involved in the industry when it comes to, clothing, apparel, streetwear, everything along those lines. So he wants to be helpful because he recognized that, he got help, he got motivation, he got inspiration along the way. And if he can be a resource, if he can be a tool for somebody, then he wants to do that as well. So without further ado, enjoy episode 81, A Close-Knit Family. All right, what's going on, everybody? Just like to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. And man, I hope y'all looking at his shirt, Ohana. That means family. That's all I'm sitting down with family today, man. I'm sitting down with my boy Cam. We were able to link up and connect at ECU, man. As somebody who originally first meeting him, real laid back, real chill individual, real good guy, and then you really get to pick his brain, you really get to talk to him a little bit more, and you really just recognize he's really a genuine dude. And then even after, leaving ECU, we each went our separate ways going to do what we wanted to do, but just being able to follow him on social media, just being able to see him start his brand, not only the message behind the brand, but just the authenticity behind it, man. He's really just been killing it, just from, the products to the content to just everything that he's really doing and aiming to do. And I could tell, just from the support he was getting from the ECU level to just the worldwide level, man, it's been crazy. So I don't want to spoil too much because my man is definitely doing the thing. So, bro, how you feeling, man? How's everything going?
Word, feeling good, bro. I definitely didn't deserve all that, but you know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I'm happy to be up here. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Trust me, I could have kept it going, but I ain't want to, I ain't want to sell it. But no, so all right, so for the people tapping in, man, from my side, from your side, just I know we're gonna have some newcomers along the way. Some people just, trying to figure out what's really going on. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then what brings you on the Down to Business podcast today?
Word, yeah. So I start from school. Like you said, we linked up ECU. I graduated about 2018. Ended up getting a job working accounts payable, accounts receivable, doing some accounting work. And then COVID hit, and I got laid off. So it brings me to the reason we're here today, which is that's when I started the brand Only Ohana, an e-commerce clothing brand. So yeah, that's just what kind of pushed me and led me to my journey and my story.
Got you, man. It's just always interesting to hear the stories about the brand and how they got centralized or kind of impacted by the pandemic, or even it's just beautiful. Something that this podcast has really allowed me the opportunity with is being able to connect with so many people who experienced the pandemic directly, whether it be, birthing their brand during it, whether it be even having to call some things quits, because we actually did talk to a couple of owners who, had to kind of transition differently with the pandemic. But always interesting just to hear that. So, laid off from the job, recognize that, 9 to 5, recognize just how expendable they really say that we are, recognize that it can really happen to anybody at any time. So recognize that you had something to do, bro. You had to really make some things happen. So why did you choose to go that route? Obviously, you could have looked for another job, maybe taken a remote position, maybe even tried to find work elsewhere. Why did you really decide to take that and kind of bet on yourself, take that investment in yourself and really make a brand happen?
Right. Most definitely. So I think, what kind of pushed me and kind of led me to have the time to do this. Well, of course, getting laid off, what I'm saying, in the pandemic, you was able to get on unemployment. So I feel like I took full advantage of that, being able to have like a source of income and still have that amount of much of time on your hands. So really just kind of getting the most value out of sitting in the crib all day long. So I just kind of picked up, learned skills like sewing. And that's really what started it all, just picking up something like a skill. And that led to, building a website, learning more about, owning a business and clothes. So I really think that was just one of the biggest kind of push the starts that I had, because, it was something that I always wanted to do. Only Ohana means family. But kind of, I'll go ahead and get into the explanation of the brand. Only Ohana is my elevator pitch, you know what I'm saying? So I say Only Ohana is a family brand rooted from a lifelong middle school friendship. And we're devoted to providing a simple streetwear style with a subtle flex. And we aim to inspire those worldwide, creativity, positivity. But I say that to say Only Ohana, it first originated as something me and my brother way back in middle school. It was a clique, you know, that's what we called ourselves. And growing up, we was like, you know, we're gonna make clothes for ourselves and only ourselves, you know, that's gonna be our little thing. So, you know, 10, 15 years later, fast forward to now, you know, I ended up coming out with an idea, exposing it to social media, you know, just going from there.
Got you, man. I love the elevator pitch, man. It's crazy.
I got
It's
to
how you
get
catch the people's attention for sure, for sure. So, I love that too. I love the idea that this was something that was, thought out, mapped out, talked about, probably, edited along the way, tweaked a little bit. And even still, like you said, fast
Mhm.
forward 10, 15 years later, you were able to see it come to fruition and birth it. And who other, than to be able to birth something with than a brother, than somebody who has really been close to you, a lot of your life. So
Right.
why is what role, I guess it's kind of going to be like a two-part question. So one, why is family so important to you? And then two, what role does that play in your approach to the brand and your approach to how you communicate that to other people?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, I think I'm a living testimony of the brand because, you know what I'm saying? Only Ohana, it really means family. So, like, that's where it's rooted. Me and my brother, you know what I'm saying? We linked up way back in middle school. And, you know, family, you don't necessarily got to see each other every day to know that you family. So that's kind of how it played out with us. You know, he went off to school. He actually moved to Ohio. I went off to school. You know what I'm saying? We went our separate ways. But, you know, when we linked back up, it was never no love lost, never no nothing. So that's just kind of really and then aside from that, you know, I come from a big family. You know what I'm saying? My mother got eight, nine brothers and sisters. My mom's got eight, nine brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about family. That's just a little extra, you know, add on to the brand. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, thinking about this brand, thinking about how far it dates back, and then thinking about, kind of fast forward and moving forward a little bit, really putting everything into fruition, really still thinking about even the elevator pitch, the mission behind it, everything that you guys really wanted to do. What was the goal really always streetwear? What was kind of that brainstorming process when it came to figuring out, what products you kind of wanted to use, even like color schemes and just even certain designs? Because bro, it's
Mhm.
fire. Like I got the sweats. I see people rocking all the time. You even drop some new hoodies. Got the new hoodie on, man. Kind of
All
little
right.
subtle flex, little subtle plug right there for y'all. But yeah, what was
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
the idea behind it all of really bringing those things to life when it comes to the products?
yeah. Yeah. So like growing up, like a lot of people, you know, our first interest, me and my brothers' first interest, you know, and everybody around me was sneakers. You know what I'm saying? We always copped the latest drops, you know, always wanted the pre-releases and whatnot. And that just kind of led into the fashion side of it. And we get a lot of inspiration from some of our favorite brands like Ralph. Just growing up, even like in middle school, my business partner, he had a bet with me, and he can tell you this to this day. He was probably like halfway through the school year. He like, I bet you can't wear Ralph for every day for the rest of the school year. So like for the rest of the year, I came something different from Ralph every single day: socks, hat, you know, shoes, whatever it was. But you know, that's just where we pulled our inspiration from, and that's still to this day. You know, that's where we see ourselves as a brand, like a longevity type of brand that really just stays original. You know what I'm saying? And stays to what they're good at. They don't do too much. It's just subtle, you know what I'm saying? But they add their little tweaks to it to make it a little flex, you know what I'm saying? So that's our inspiration right
It's
there.
crazy you say that, man. Depending on when that bet was made, I might have been able to fulfill that joint too. Yeah, at one point, man,
You feel me?
we was pulling out from the hats to the shirts.
Polo crazy.
Word, like it was familiar, man. That's wild. That's really wild to think about. Yeah, so I love that, bro.
Most definitely.
I love always hearing about. I love when people can admit their motivations, their inspiration, things like that. But because sometimes
Hmm.
people really can get on their high horse or just in their heads and really just make it seem like everything was
Yeah.
just all original, just from me from the ground up. Where granted, look, a brand can be like you can have your own Ohana, you can have your and Jackson
Mm-hmm.
Co. You can have your, the wall tats. You can have the host of different brands. But, everybody, it started from something. It was a result of something else.
Mm-hmm. For
You get
sure.
inspiration from here. I hate when people just try to kind of act like, the minute you have an inspiration or the minute you like something, it's like
Right.
you jocking them or you kind of following too much around them.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. Like I would say that I listen to other podcasts for inspiration. I listen for just different ways to be more personable, different questions that I can ask, just different
Mm-hmm.
ways to be more in tune with content and stuff like that. Man, it's nothing really like having that
Yeah.
motivation and that inspiration for sure, for sure. So I love that. And then, being able to
Exactly.
translate that then into your own brand, into your own swag, your own sauce is cool, man. So obviously you said that this is something that you were talking to and have been able to take on with your brother. So when it comes to really the Only Ohana operations, everything that y'all do from content to just promotions to ordering to
Mm-hmm.
just everything like that, how is really the responsibility split between y'all? Oftentimes, I talk to people who are one man bands, one woman bands who really do everything by themselves. But I'm always very interested to talk to people who are in a team setting or when work with more than one person just
Mm-hmm.
to see, how does really the brand operate when it comes to y'all? Who does what?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that is something that you definitely have to think about when going into business, whether it's going to be by yourself or with a partner, because communication is going to be a big role. Just being able to, understand that this is my strength and I need to know and be confident in my strength and be so confident I got the ability to communicate exactly what I'm trying to do. That way you can understand it and be on boat with me. So I think that's kind of how we kind of settled out our roles. You know what I'm saying? We see what we're good at, we see our strengths, and then we tend to those areas and trust one another to, build up their area as we go along. So just going along, I'm big in art. I always drew, so like I kind of handle. I'm also big in photography, so I do a lot of the content, a lot of the day-to-day operations. Where my business partner is more on the back end. You know what I'm saying? He focused on the longevity of the brand, and the more of the supply chain management, making sure on time, making sure we planning ahead, got drops to come. Um, and I also graduated from ECU in marketing and supply chain management, so I handle all of the marketing. So that's just kind of we play to each other's strengths and just trust one another to do what we say we're gonna do. So and we got the same goal in mind. It's nothing like having a partner that's gonna put that same effort into it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly how you do it. So that's why it
I
works
was
in
about
my
to say, I
opinion.
love that. I love, when people can have two totally different skill sets, when people can be versed in two totally different areas, but they still
Hmm.
complement each other well. Like you said, y'all both kind of, granted, y'all have different experiences, different bases of knowledge, different things that y'all do, but y'all drive is the same. So you're going to drive with what you
Yeah.
know, he's going to drive with what he know, and ultimately,
Hmm.
Only Ohana is just going to, continue to progress and go up. It
Exactly.
actually reminds me of my boy, Nard, who I brought on, and he was talking about his nonprofit organization and how, his executive board was basically he made sure that when it came to finances, he put people on there who knew the accounting. When it came to like his vice presidents and just different
Hmm.
things like that, he was cognizant to make sure that he was playing to people's strengths. And I think that obviously is only going to
Yes.
speak to the success of your brand.
Hmm.
So something that you talked about was the content, was the marketing, was everything like that. So something that Only
Yeah.
Ohana does that I really took to, that I really liked, was the map of how pretty much every time somebody shopped new with y'all, you would put that state
Hmm.
in like blue, and it would be like, oh, bro, that was cool to me because I felt like I was following a journey along with y'all. I was like, this week,
Right.
okay, he
Right.
snapped this week. They got this, they got that. They halfway there. Now they a quarter way there. Now they, they pretty much at 48, 47. So
Yeah.
in moving forward, in obviously updating that map, in seeing where you were getting different orders from, knowing the content that you already put out, knowing how you were marketing the brand, did that change anything? Did that change your approach? Did you go harder for certain things? Were you trying to hit certain areas? Did you target and ad promote certain ways, or did you
Yeah.
really, just kept it to you, and just people rock with you different ways? How did that? How What was that process really like?
Most definitely. I think it kind of plays into my initial mindset, that I was kind of preaching to my business partner. He from Ohio. And, he tells me a lot of the time, everybody in Ohio has like, they got a brand, they got a trade, they got something that they going hard for. And their main goal is to take over their city. So I'm like, he out in Ohio, I'm in C, I'm preaching to him. I'm like, it's cool to take over your city, but like, how many times can you hit up your homeboy for $40 until it's like, what I'm saying? Y'all both out here trying to get it. So I think having that initial mindset of we're going to take over all 50 states first, and then we're going to expand the countries, then we're going to do this and that. But just having, a more broader type of outlook on it, it helps you to get to that goal, because now you're thinking of how can I sell my product to people I don't know, and how can I consistently, be able to continue to make money, you know what I'm saying? Not off the backbone of nobody, not off the strength of nobody, but just simply just because of the market and the flow of the brand is just taking over. So that just kind of helped us initially, aim to where we wanted to go. So we do got an announcement. We hit all 50 states, so that's coming soon. As soon as we hit about 10K followers, I'm gonna probably post the updated map. But yeah, that's you know what I'm saying. That's what it initially started as, just thinking broader than just the city. We wanted to take over globally. So
That's a milestone, bro. Congrats to y'all for sure. I don't even.
word.
I know all 50 states. Like if I had to list them, I could list them. But you put that map in front of me, I don't know where they at, bro. So that's amazing.
Word.
State, it's places. It's honestly, it's one of my teachers used to have like a map of the United States of America. He would put pins, every place that he went, and I would always say in my head like I would want to do something like that. But I know for a fact, like you're not gonna catch me in either one of the Dakotas. You're not gonna catch me. It's just certain places that I feel like I don't need to be. Like I just don't need to. But the fact that the brand is out there, the message is being communicated and received out there. That's a blessing, bro. That's amazing. So definitely excited for the update and for you to, y'all are growing, y'all are really making it happen, bro. So obviously, we think about the timetable of this brand. We think about that this dates really all the way back to middle school, whether it just be an idea, whether it be the clique, whether it just be the lock-in, whatever. So thinking about now, obviously, as you guys have progressed from just getting different layoffs to just having a lock-in and just different things like that, to either one of you not really having, this is your first brand, clothing brand coming together doing this. What were really some adjustments that y'all had to make? Obviously, like you said, y'all have two different skill sets. Y'all have strengths, different weaknesses, and things that y'all have to play off of and stuff like that. But what were even some problems that y'all ran into maybe in the beginning or maybe along the journey that y'all had to adjust to obviously continue the development of the brand?
Yeah, I mean, we ran into a lot of financial problems in the beginning. Just because you think going, and we both, like you said, it's our first clothing brand, so we basing off our projection and our success based off what we already see out here, when that's kind of a false narrative. Because you look at the backbone, they've been in business, these companies 5-10 years, they've been doing clothes, however long. But just staying kind of just steadfast and to the goal, that kind of just helped us, just kind of block out what everybody else was doing, because that's going to be a big thing. You're going to want to kind of emulate other people, just because you see, they first to the field than you were. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, it is good to pull inspiration, and it is good to acknowledge what they're doing. But staying the course and staying original to the brand is something that we kind of honed in on. And we told each other, like, this is, saying we got this vision from a way back. So, what I'm saying, we're going to stick to it. So that's just trying to be original, but, allowing other people to inspire us, but also keeping our head on straight.
You said two things in there that really spoke to me that I feel like are important, and they can be very either detrimental or they can be beneficial depending on at what point in your journey you embrace these and recognize these. So you said one, you say stay steadfast. Man, that's so important, just because it's hard to do that. It's hard to, see another brand that correlates to you so much, that are maybe doing not obviously doing directly what you do, but in the same industry as you, are selling whatever you sell or offering the same product and service. It's crazy to just see them just eat and just making it happen. The content going crazy, and you just like, damn, on a smaller scale, just not hitting as much, maybe not selling as much. And you're just like, yo, what am I doing wrong? It's so easy to just want to compare or contrast or switch up your flow and your different things like that, when sometimes that's just not your path. You trying to veer off and do what they do. You may not necessarily know why it's working for them. It may really not be working for them. That's just what they're showing you and stuff like that. But then two, you also said sticking to the plan, bro. It seems so simple, so cliche, but it's so important. Stick to the plan. We write things down. We make goals for ourselves. We have, just different things that we want to do and accomplish. for a reason. It's set like that on don't
Mm-hmm.
don't let somebody else's 10K followers or first $1,000 day or new product or new review
Right.
take you from your plan, bro. You're constantly
Yeah.
just going to be changing things because you see another accomplishment here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I got to switch up and do what I did here. You lose your progress. What if you were one step away? And I referenced this in a few episodes. I always think about that picture about the two men digging for the diamond or the two men running a race and how
Mm.
the one man's race was so easy, found the diamond, won the race, whatever the case may be, just easy. The other man, he went through hell and hot
Yeah.
water, bro. He had to go up, he had to go down, he had to go left, right, backtrack. And if he would have just kept it going for a couple of more tugs at it, he would have been at the diamond. But he saw
Right.
the other dude celebrate. He said, "You know
Exactly.
what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do what he did." You erased all that,
Exactly.
and now you starting all over in a sense. So now it's gonna feel like it's taking you twice as long. You were right there all
Yeah.
because you veered off from that
Literally.
plan, or you didn't stay steadfast. Or comparison, man, is it's like the thief of joy for me. It's like you can be so happy and just feel like you're doing so well. You're getting media coverage, articles are written about you, feedback, reviews, products, and then you look at somebody else who's doing what you do maybe 5 times harder. Like you said, how long they
Yep.
been in business? How many people they got? How did they
Right.
start? What's their team?
Mm-hmm.
Do they buy
Literally.
for it's so much and just different things to consider. You comparing yourself to them, bro, it could be so detrimental to your brand. So I think that that's so important. I think that that's a great message. So in thinking
Yeah.
about the products, I gotta actually get back on the site. I gotta get right because I done seen the socks now. I done seen
Yeah.
like,
We
we're getting
uploaded.
crazy, man. So I gotta get Only Ohana out, man. So in thinking about everything that y'all put out, from the quality to just the colors to just the promotion of it all, where does really that? How do y'all develop the products and stuff like that? Like, how did this hoodie that you have on, for instance, with the fur kind of creeping out like that? How did that come to fruition? Did you have an idea one day? I know you said you really versed on the art and just different things like that. So are you just constantly just coming up with different things? It's just y'all bouncing ideas off of each other. What is that really like? Because the people are rocking with y'all, bro.
Yeah. I think it play back to some of the obstacles. You got to go through obstacles to get to this. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through trials. You got to, because, the very first hoodie I ever made, it was a tan hoodie with this blue patch, right? And that's kind of like what went crazy. But this is about a year and a couple months now later, and I'm just now being able to put out this hoodie, and that's really just goes to show like you really got to learn the business. Because back then, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting these patches. I'm getting these patches for like $25. So I'm like, this never gonna work. So just kind of diving into the business, seeing where you can cut your margins. We get them a lot cheaper now, so I'm able to produce these hoodies at a larger rate. So kind of just playing, you know what I'm saying, just diving into it, putting your feet into the waters. It's gonna take a couple L's. It's gonna take a little bit of your money being lost. But like you said, when you stay to that goal, when you know what your end goal is in mind, you're gonna always, you're gonna look at that as part of the journey. And I think that's one of the biggest things. You got to be prepared to take those L's, because that's what's gonna make you get to your ultimate goal. So just being able to handle the losses, just knowing they gonna come, and just being able to be happy with it, and just learn from it. That's one of the biggest things for us. We went the wholesale route. Now we dealing with cut and sew people from overseas. But as you get into the business, you just get knowledgeable of all these other things. So just diving in head first is really all I can say, just to get you. That's just gonna lead you to where you want to go. So
Crazy, man. An L could really be a loss, a lesson, or a learning experience. It's very interesting to think about, but it's also kind of crazy.
mm-hmm.
A great point you just made was you don't know at what point in your career, what point in the business you could experience or be exposed to something new. Like you said, a year ago, had you just went that route, you could have been getting taxed. You could have been out of a lot more money. You could have
Right.
probably had to sell the
Mm-hmm.
hoodies for more, maybe not sold as much, maybe not hit as. You don't really know what trickle down effect it could have had. But like you said,
Exactly.
you kept the patience, found a new different
Mm-hmm.
vendor, went through a different place, and now you're able to debut. So it took just a little bit of waiting, but
Yeah.
that's what I think is important for people too. There's always room for improvement. That's one of my favorite things that I like to go by, but especially I like to relate it to business. So for me, it's just like that's why I'm always in the business or in the mindset of just starting, just going. Obviously, no, I'm not saying just bring any old BS to the table, but you got to start somewhere. Like you said, you got to go head first sometimes, get your feet wet a little bit, do
Yeah.
something because you're not going to get your best every single time from the beginning. And if you get your best at the beginning,
Yeah.
well, how do you go from there? That's like I said, I'd rather go from 70% to 90% than going from 92% to 93%, to 94%, to 95%. I'd
Yeah.
rather make that
Most
drastic
definitely.
jump than having to really do something dramatic and it only just being received just a little bit higher than it was the last time. So I say that to say, look, he
Right.
wasn't able to give the hoodies a year ago. He wasn't able to give the hoodies, but let's just say a year ago he gave the hoodies. Well, if he would have dropped that a year ago, what would he be dropping this year to up that, to make it different? You know, you really just
Right.
think about things like that in the process and things that you
Yeah.
would have had to go through. Yeah. So something that you also spoke about too, bro, was end goal, was just thinking about, the future, the long haul, just the long term. So, thinking about this brand, thinking about how I keep even reminiscing on how this dates back to middle school, how far you guys really have come and been able to develop and things like that. When you think about Only Ohana, when you think about all that you've been able to accomplish to date, just all the ideas and just all the things that you have in mind for what you want to do for the future, what is the end goal? Where do you see Only Ohana in 5 to 10 years? Are we thinking store? We're obviously thinking global here. What are we really trying to do as a brand to really make sure that the message is still continuously being received?
Yeah. So like me and my bro, we originally, what I'm saying, we wanted to start this brand just to be able to literally travel, make bread from a computer, and to be able to, at all times one day spend all of our time with the fam and not have to go nowhere. So that's to me my ultimate end goal, what I'm saying, financial freedom, being able to pay myself, write myself my own checks, just being your own boss. Like it goes back to, the reason I'm doing this in the first place and starting a brand. I spoke about this last time with you, the Dame Dash interview. You know what I'm saying? That's what really sparked my entrepreneurship and sparked that bug in my ear to want to, own something and work for myself. But yeah, he was like, be your own boss. You know what I'm saying? You can't go home to your wife and tell her, I gotta ask my boss for time off. So that's really the end goal for me, being able to sit at the crib with the fam, you know what I'm saying, and really just enjoy life and travel just willingly and still making money, you know what I'm saying? So but more on a more brand level, we just want to continue to probably keep it 70 to 80% e-commerce. And we do want a storefront, but it's going to be more of a, like a studio plus manufacturing vibe in the back, photo studios to take your product images. We want to do the whole package in a few years. So just buying more equipment right now, just being able to keep more and more things in house is really the direction we heading towards. So yeah, I would say that's the end goal.
Dash going give it to you, man. Don't play around with it.
Word.
That's important, bro. Being able to just make and dictate your own schedule, being able to wake up, and if you want to take the day off, take the fam out somewhere, being able to do that, bro. That's really just, I feel like that's an underrated blessing. That's just something that you don't really think about, but you see people being able to do. I see people, being down here in Florida, bro. I'm clocking into work, or sometimes I just got a nice view outside the office. I look outside, I'm seeing couples and families 2 a.m., 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. just ride scooters downtown, just stopping to eat. I'm just like, Dad, I'm on the clock right now till 5 o'clock. They just woke up today. They said, let's hop on the jet skis, or they woke up today doing this.
Literally.
Bro. It's just amazing, just what could really come from that.
Exactly.
But what it really takes. And I think too, another point that you brought up was just keeping everything in house. I think being in house and keeping things, just self-centered and cutting out those middlemans and the outside and external factors really just allow you to really continue to have that creative control. I think the more creative control, the better. So even in that vision that you said you have, being able to, just pull up and be that one-stop shop, it just sounds like that you're even giving brands and other people and entrepreneurs and creatives the space to grow, the space to flourish, something that wasn't necessarily afforded and allotted to. So I love that idea. I love that idea of how people, can be from Ohio, can be from North Carolina, can come from different places and cities where, we didn't have all these resources. We had to figure things out ourselves. We had to do the research, take the trial and error, take the L's, learn along the way, but want to also put out experience and resources so that people don't have to go that route, so that everybody doesn't have to struggle. That,
Exactly.
you know, sometimes people,
Right.
I read it sometimes on social media about how some parents just think like, or people just think that just because, you know, you struggle growing up, or your kids need to feel that, or your kids need to go. No, it's a way
Mm.
of
Yeah.
letting kids know that, like, look, everything in life ain't just going to be given to you without necessarily having them
Yeah.
having to experience the same struggles you did. It's a lot of ways to communicate that
Hmm.
message, but I think it's important too when you recognize that, look, if I don't have to put somebody else through this, or if I can save somebody or stop somebody from this, why not? You don't know what that could do for that
Yeah.
person. By saving them the struggle, by giving them a resource, you could unlock something in them, or you could give them the potential to do something way greater, and then they pay you. So it's just
Yeah.
like, bro, my mind just thinks about just different things like that all the time, about how, you know, the more we each one and teach one with each other, the more we just, you know, we can only be greater. We can only learn with knowledge.
Yeah, I want to add to that too, because I be seeing a lot of people, this kind of relate to that. I see a lot of people like, they be like, LeBron's son got like 15 offers now, but I look at it from another perspective. I'm like, that's what we want. We want, somebody in that type of position and be able to reach back and put other people on, put his son on. It's other people of other races out here doing that, but us, we look at it as, oh, he getting the easy way out. It's a handout. You know what I'm saying? So I really look up to that. He really put himself in a position where he can do that, and that's what I want to do in my journey as well. Just bottle up information and be able to give back. You know what I'm saying? And allow people to take the same blueprint, the same route I took from somebody else. So yeah, I just wanted
Of
to
course,
add
bro,
that.
and it's important because what people don't realize is that there's a silver lining in that, and that's really that. While granted, yes, people may feel like that's a handout, or you're only doing that because of your
Hmm.
pop, but at the same time, think about the attention that he's bringing to that school now. Think about the attention that Sierra Canyon
Right.
has, that those recruits and those other, because
Hmm.
there's people there that at one point Bron's son wasn't starting. He was coming off the bench. So
Right.
just think about Bron being at the games. Oh, now you giving more scouts and more people the opportunity to look at these other scouts. So if Bron's son got
Hmm.
15 offers, then think about the people who were starting from day one. They gotta be, you know, going
Yeah.
crazy. But like you said, people just look at that as a thing of, oh, well, come on. But it's just like, yo, like you said, these they out here doing the same thing. Who daddy know, who mommy know, who
Literally.
auntie know, and they getting plugged in. No experience necessary. We see it with
Never.
jobs. We see it with, you know,
Mm-mm.
just being in
Yep.
the, how we're not in the room, how we should be in the room. Like, come on, bro, we
Right.
can get into it. So
Exactly.
I think that that's important, bro. A lot of times, like I said, we want everybody to take the same route and go through the trenches and go through everything that we had to go through. You could just each one
Right.
teach one, bro. If I can give you a resource that's
Hmm.
gonna make it easier for you, it's hating of me not to do that. You know, in a sense, I'm
Yeah.
holding you
Most
back in
definitely.
a sense without even, and you don't even know it indirectly. But it just makes me think
Yeah.
that it's only a certain amount of people or that choir that you can preach to. A lot of people really think like that, and they
Right.
really just think that, you know, you all on your own. I got to get it out the mud, so you got to get out the mud too. But no, if we get
Right.
it out the
Exactly.
mud together, we can go through at a faster rate rather than me and you just trying to go at it. So
Yeah.
it's
Most
interesting, bro. It's
definitely.
interesting. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see, you know,
Partnership, man.
partnership, bro,
Partnership.
collaboration, all of that, man. It's words that in
Hmm.
our community, bro, they're shunned upon, or they're looked at weird. So I love that.
Yeah.
So, you know, and thinking about Only Ohana, thinking about the brand, thinking about, you know, what y'all do, what is something that you really have taken pride in with this brand? Has this brand given you a different sense of ownership? Has it allowed you to look at life a little different? Being that, you know, at one point you were working 9 to 5 doing your accounts payable, accounts receivable, and then, you know, you went from just being
Hmm.
your own boss and everything. Was there anything that this brand and just these experiences and being a business owner and having to promote content and having to send out orders and different things like that, was there anything that you learned about yourself? Was there anything that you learned about your brother? And just, you know, how did that really change your outlook on how you approach things
Man, shoot, we learning every day, V. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, one of the biggest things probably just being able to stand on your own 2 feet and have that self confidence in yourself to, no matter who around me, because you in business, your family gonna tell you you should be doing this, your closest friends gonna tell you, nah, you should do it this way. So really just, having that confidence in yourself to be able to block out everything everybody else saying and still stick to your path and be consistent. On what you're doing. And that's another thing. It showed me consistency. You know what I'm saying? It's, you could say the word over and over again, but when you actually, in it and actually implementing consistency towards your brand, not just starting something up 3 months later, you know what I'm saying? You look back, the brand ain't posted nothing, but really taking it as serious as you would have done if you was working a 9 to 5 for somebody else. Um, and also like it ain't sometimes outside looking in you may think you made it. So like that's another thing. It takes a lot. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes years, it takes 1 year, 2 years. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just be consistent, be steadfast, and just stay committed and just believe in yourself. So that's one of the biggest things because yeah, just you're gonna face a lot of obstacles.
For
So
real, man. Day in and day out. Just when you think, everything is the grass is green, the sun is shining, something gonna happen. A storm will come over, and it's just about how
most
you
definitely.
respond, how you, because it's only
Yeah.
gonna the. I wouldn't say it's only gonna happen more frequently as you move up, but the magnitude of it. So
Hmm.
when you got to think about the big brands like the Bel Airs with the Rick Ross. Like you think
Right.
about Ace of Spade, you think about Fenty, you think about Kim K, all the brands, different things like that. They're still taking L's. They're still taking hits. They're taking,
Hmm.
big hits that like we look at probably some of the
Yeah.
losses and stuff. Like I was even looking at Elon and Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and how like,
Hmm.
you say one wrong thing or you say something that the people don't agree with, you wake up, your net
Right.
worth is down. Millions. Like bro,
Hmm.
imagine waking up, you
Yeah,
just
most
lost millions,
definitely.
but for them, they can shrug it off. You know why? Because they have the necessary
Hmm.
pieces in play. Why? Because they've done so much to get to that
Right.
point and build that foundation where it's just like,
Yeah.
you don't want to have a non-sturdy foundation. Almost think of it like Jenga. The more you start pulling and taking away from, the less sturdy
Right.
your foundation becomes. You don't want to have that a non-sturdy foundation from the rip. And then when you take that first L, your whole business tumbling down. No, you want to have that sturdy,
Yeah.
locked-in foundation so that, okay, you
Hmm.
take an L or you take a little hit or something like that, you can bounce back and rebound from it. Be okay. Yeah, it's gonna
Hmm.
hurt. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Yeah, it's a learning experience, but it's not something where you saying, "Oh, I got to go get a job," or "I got to." Right.
Nah, you done seen that L
That's
before.
cool. All right, a little more. All
Hmm.
right, bounce back, and then you make, because I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure he woke up, saw this L, came out with something or said something else or did something else, pushed another
Exactly.
product, pushed another sale, made it right back in 10
Hmm.
minutes. So
Yeah.
it's important to think about
Hmm.
stuff like that. All right, bro. So, man, I was so excited for this, man. I was just very, like I said, because I've been tapping in, which I've been keeping my eye on it for so long. I've been watching
Yeah.
some businesses is really bittersweet for me to be able to talk to them, just because it's just like, yo, I've been watching the progress from afar, and I've been watching everything that you're doing, and I may not
Mm.
always say stuff, and I may not always respond or reply or shop or whatever, but I'm always watching, bro. So I love yours was one that really
Yeah.
stood out to me, bro. From the time I got my first order and I was going through the business cards and I got my coupon code and I was just reading everything and going through the
Yeah. Yeah.
website, signed up for the email list. I was just like, bro, they really on it. And especially as somebody who entered the space of selling merchandise and really knew what it took, like it was just like, damn, I commend these businesses out here who are doing stuff
Right.
like that. So thinking about the brand, man, thinking about everything that y'all have done to date, like you said, we still have some things to look forward to, from the updated state map to the 10K followers to the new products and stuff like that. What can we expect from Only Ohana moving forward, man? We're about to close out Q4. We're about to start a new year. 2022 is around the corner, man. So what can the people, tapping in for the first time, what can the loyal supporters and customers expect from the brand moving forward?
Shoot, just expansion, more drops, better quality. As I go through this, we only getting smarter. We only learning more. So we only trying to give it back even more. So that's just the motto. So if you stay along for the course, you're gonna see something you like. We're gonna release enough for you to like something. So yeah, just more drops, man. Just getting better, getting smarter at this. Never giving up and just staying the
Right.
course.
I think that that's such an important message to push to followers, supporters, people, just anybody in general. I tell people all the time in episodes or just in posts and stuff like that. Just stick with me. I'm like you say, we're
Yeah.
gonna drop enough that something's gonna catch your eye, and that's how I feel. One of these episodes,
Word.
one of these quotes, one of these videos, it's gonna catch your eye. Whether it take the 95th episode, whether it take the third episode, whether it take the second hoodie, the first shirt, the second pair of pants, something's
Telling
gonna
you.
catch you, and I'm gonna get you. And once I get you, I'm gonna lock you in, and yeah,
Yeah,
man. So that's
most
all it
definitely.
takes. So before we give out, the social media, before we tell people where they can lock in, shop, follow the journey, and everything like that, you feel like
Yeah.
there's anything we didn't touch on today? You feel like there's anything that you want to leave for the people, for people in the same space as you, for people even trying to enter that space, or just anybody out there, just anything you feel like we didn't hit today that you want to just drop?
Shoot, man. I wish I could tell them it all. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could go through it and tell it all. So I just shoot. If you know me, reach out to me. If you don't know me, still reach out to me. You know, I'm all about just talking, chatting, giving game. You know, it takes investments and it takes time just to kind of learn. So I'm all about investing. You know, I invest in ebooks, all that. So I'm willing to give back. They give back. So I just want to reach out to me. You know, you can follow the brand at Only Ohana brand. And then on Instagram, onlyohana.com, the website. You can follow me at Cam Sykes, Sykes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about love, spreading knowledge. So yeah, that's it.
Come on now, gave y'all some gems on here, gave y'all some free gems to the point where I ain't
Word.
even IG live this interview. You really you're gonna have to tap into this one. You're gonna have to click this one and really get it popping. Just
Most
because
definitely.
not only did he come on here and drop the gems for y'all, give y'all some plugs and just different things like that, but he's still willing to make himself a resource to everybody out there, and that's what we need
Yeah,
more of.
most definitely.
Just that each one teach one mentality, just those collaborations and different things like that. So to all
Yeah,
my people listening out there, my pop-up shop vendors, my people who do different things like that, hit my boy. Let's really make something happen. I hope to see everybody
most
coming
definitely.
together in the city near us. So yeah, Cam, I appreciate you, bro. I'm definitely glad we was able to get it blocked
Yeah.
back in. Yeah, for the
Hey,
people,
bro,
yeah, man,
I
of
appreciate
course. So for
you.
the people who
You know what
don't
I'm
know,
saying?
I'm gonna be a little transparent here. So me and Cam actually did this interview probably like 2 weeks ago. Like we locked in, like had
Yeah.
it all scheduled. It was technical difficulties. Obviously, I think what it was, he came on, he dropped too many gems, man, too much. The network, the connectivity started acting a little crazy. Had to cut him off.
It
So
was,
but we locked back in. I pretty much told him that I wanted everything to just be fluid, concise, one motion. I didn't want to have
yeah,
to throw too many transitions and stuff in. So he came on today. We locked in. We did it again. So very proud,
yeah,
that we was able to make this happen. Very excited for the growth of the brand to see what's coming from it. And I just I always extend my hand and my thanks to everybody who comes
yeah,
on, but even more so to the supporters, to the listeners, to the followers, the shoppers,
yeah.
everybody like that. So thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. This has been another
Hey.
episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.